Okay, I'm gonna start this video by thanking anyone that clicked on it. I'm gonna be talking about the NFL Week 6 spread picks and betting lines. This is an early look coming out on being recorded at least on only Tuesday. So all of this is subject to change. I want to start out by saying the lines are all coming from DraftKings. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on, but it should be pretty similar on whatever website of choice you guys are using. So I'm going to start out by talking about the Washington football team. 2.5 point dogs against the New York Giants at minus 107. And I'm going to focus on this game definitely this week for three main reasons. So the first one is going to be the D-line versus O-line matchup. It's going to be one of the best of the week in favor of Washington. Chase Young should be even healthier this week coming off of a groin injury. And the Giants O-line has been exploited throughout the year, as you've seen with Daniel Jones being sacked and the running game not being able to take off. So I think that's a good target right there. And then the second reason would be Kyle Allen. He possibly might not be terrible. As we saw last week, he had 5 drives. One of them was a scoring drive, leading in him running in a touchdown. He didn't look great. We've seen him before. We know he's not great, but his performance last week definitely didn't, sway any minds. I don't think he performed terribly before injury. So he's been named the starter for next week, so we're going to roll with that. And then the third reason is the public's going to be off of Washington with their performance last week. They got decimated even with Alex Smith's return due to Kyle Allen injury. And then the rest of the world saw the Giants play in a really close game against the Cowboys that Dak ended up getting injured in. But the Giants still put up over 30 points in an impressive win, while the football team, gave up 30 points and only scored 10 in a pretty pathetic loss. So that's going to be the first game I'm going to be targeting this week. Okay, so the second game I'm going to be talking about is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Indianapolis Colts. My pick right here is going to be the Bengals at 8-point underdogs at minus 110. Just to say, to start out, I think that 8 points is just too big of a number for this game. We've seen Phillip Rivers' performance. It hasn't been that good so far. This is a defense-oriented team, and they're going to try to run the ball and play good defense. And I think it'll definitely work. I even think they might pull off a win. But I think the Bengals have definitely impressed so far this year, especially with Joe Burrow at quarterback. We've seen some more involvement with Joe Mixon these last 2 weeks. And I think the Bengals will be able to keep this game in striking distance, even if they don't pull out the win. 8 numbers just feels too big for me, especially with the Colts having lost to the Jaguars and Browns, which are both teams around the Bengals level. So I'm going to be going with the Bengals plus 8 for this. Number just feels too big. I could see it going down to maybe 6.5 by the end of the week, but that's just me. So that's the second game I'm going to be focusing on. The third game I'm going to be looking at is the Green Bay Packers. 1.5 point favorites against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at minus 115. The Packers have been the best team in the NFL so far. Aaron Rodgers has been extremely impressive. This offense is just looking pretty close to unbeatable. So the fact that the number is only 1.5 is really weird to me. Tampa Bay is a good team, without a doubt, playoff contender. Brady's looking better than expected, but this number just is way too low. Initially, I was thinking it would be around 4.5, something like that, with the way the Packers have performed so far this year. I think the Bucs defense is overperforming this year. They're very young, pretty raw. They have some talent that can definitely improve, but they haven't gone against Aaron Rodgers yet this year, and Aaron Rodgers is looking pretty dangerous. So I haven't really been on the Packers this year, which is obviously a mistake. I'm sure if you've been on them every week, you've made a lot of money. But this week is definitely the week to get on board. This number just feels way too small, and it was pretty close to a lock for me. So I'm going to stick with the Green Bay Packers as favorites in this game. And the final game I'm going to be talking about today is going to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the Arizona Cardinals, with my pick being Dallas Cowboys money line at plus 112. So 3 reasons. Andy Dalton, good quarterback. And I don't think he needs to be scared of the Arizona Cardinals defense. Dalton has proven himself in the past. He came in, he won that game against the Giants. I really feel like we're being a little too hard on Andy Dalton. Arizona is definitely a fun team to watch. Kyler's exciting. A lot of people were on him for that MVP at the start of the year. And I think that's just giving him a little bit too much respect right here with the line being at 2.5. I think Dallas is just going to win this game, so that's what I was looking for. Arizona lost to the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. That just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why we then have confidence in them to come and beat this Dallas Cowboys team that's struggling on defense, but probably a more competent offense with all things considered. So I just think a little bit more respect needs to be put on the Andy Dalton's name specifically and the Dallas Cowboys. I got this at 125 on Bovada. So, yeah, that's my final one. Appreciate anyone that watched this. Any feedback is necessary. Definitely working on the format of this video. So hoping to improve in the future. Thank you.